Um, Hello, I'm Zaf. I'm a Filipino. I'm 24 years old. I I just want to start by saying I'm sorry if you guys are having a hard time understanding what I say. English is my second language, but I'll do my best to try to express my thoughts and feelings um, through this language. And I've been wanting to do this video, or I've been wanting to express my thoughts and feelings about this topic, which is 15-minute cities. But I'm gonna go through it. I don't really have much time to edit, so I'm just gonna hit record and just try to really say what I think about this topic. So, what are 15-minute cities? First of all, they are a concept, an idea that people in cities like me, who lives in Parañaque City inside the metropolis of Manila, um, every basic necessity is within reach of a 15-minute walk. May I extend a 15-minute bike ride? And may I extend it to a 15-minute riding a public transport? So, I mean, public transport is a stretch, but within that 15 minutes of walking, you have access to healthcare, to groceries, to shops, to basic amenities, stuff like that. So, and public transport. So you have access to public transport. Yeah. So it's an idea. It's a concept. For example, where I live, if I walk outside my home and walk for 15 minutes, I would get past, or I would walk past by a grocery store, a pharmacy or a drugstore, a gasoline station, a convenience store, a supermarket. We have a market, a wet market here. There's also a school nearby where I live. There's also a clinic. The hospital is a bit further, but it's near. Meaning to say, I could walk a little bit more to get to the hospital. Both ways, by the way. Like, so yeah, so that's basically a 15-minute cities. What 15-minute cities are. And the reason why they are being pushed is, number one, it's actually an efficient way to live. Like, for example, as humans, it's really good when most of the basic stuff that you need is just within 15-minute walk. Oh, and may I add, in that 15-minute walk, you have establishments are that have opportunities of employment. So, for example, there are office spaces, or there are offices of certain companies, stuff like that. So, those are basically what 15-minute cities are. Most of Europe is actually like that. Most cities in Europe, New York, I believe, it's like that. You have apartments, you go outside, you have shops, stuff like that. So, 15-minute cities, it's a concept, it's an idea. There are protests happening in the United Kingdom, and before I continue with the protest in the United Kingdom, I know this is a topic that doesn't really involve me. I'm way over here in the Philippines, in Asia, but I do believe it's a topic that will get to us. It's a and it's a topic that we should work together, hand in hand. Even though, like, I'm way over here, you don't know me, it doesn't concern me. I think it's a topic. I think it's something that we should work hand in hand, and I believe it's something that will really help mankind to, further develop, to ease suffering, and to actually make our lives as happy and as successful and as safe as possible. That's what 15-minute series are for me. So there are protests in the United Kingdom, and trying to understand what the people are saying. I understand the fear. I understand the pushback, because for me, there's a misconception about 15-minute cities and how it's going to be implemented. See, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me, for those of you who are in that side of, not wanting for 15-minute cities to happen, that the government will implement these changes and lock you inside those your districts, your neighborhood. And the core foundation of 15-minute cities is not to lock you down. It's to actually liberate you from a lot of the things that is troubling you. One of the places where the 15-minute city is being pushed is in America, because there's a lot of suburban areas where the lifestyle of a usual American is very car dependent, where if you need to buy a grocery, you need to drive 7 minutes to your nearest, like a big box store. It could be Walmart. I'm gonna use Costco for the entire video because I like Costco, and I think they're pretty cool. But yeah, so like you're gonna go to your nearest Costco to buy your groceries, and in Costco and in many places, they bundle. They don't really sell individual packs. They bundle. For example, you're gonna buy a pack of soap. It's gonna be like 10 bars. So it's bundled, and it's far. See, so the 15-minute cities would like to change that. Like, you don't have to drive all the way from, a few miles, a few kilometers for where you're buying your groceries, because in 15-minute cities, legislation will be passed so that zoning laws will accommodate the needs of the people. And may I use the example of America? If, for example, a 15-minute city is being proposed in a suburban area, it would definitely change the landscape of that area, where there probably might be duplexes instead of just single housing units, where you could really maximize the use of individual land. So, and America is facing a housing crisis currently. But another thing is, like, for me, I remember a friend that I've had in America. Here in the Philippines, we have what we call a sari-sari store. I think it's the equivalent of a corner store in America. If you want to know more about corner stores and the concept of having a corner store in your neighborhood, go check out Not Just Bikes. By the way, I'm gonna reference a lot of my thoughts from from Not Just Bikes videos, because he's really an advocate about better urban planning, better mobility, and a better city life. So yeah, Not Just Bikes. Go check out his YouTube channel. But yeah, so basically, corner stores are convenience stores, kind of like a 7-Eleven owned by someone from your neighborhood that has all the basic stuff that you need. So instead of going to that, I say Costco, that example, like instead of going, like, driving for 15 minutes to Costco to buy a milk, you just walk for like 4 or 5 minutes to your nearest cornerstone, catch up with your neighbors, and then just buy one gallon of milk, one bar of soap, because you don't need an entire bundle. So those are the things that 15-minute cities are trying to change, and again, it's not supposed to lock you in. It's not supposed to lock you in. You're gonna be you're staying there. That's all you need. Blah 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 blah. It's and I think I'll talk about it later on. But I want to really emphasize that the 15-minute cities are concepts and ideas, and not part of that idea, not part of that concept is putting people in basically what the protesters are protesting about. 15-minute cities turning into concentration camps, turning into this. You're gonna only be there. You're never gonna be allowed to leave. That is absurd, and I agree. I support the people protesting about restricting our freedom, restricting our rights. It's not good. We should never, you should never ever allow that to happen. But then again, I believe that we're barking on the wrong tree. It's not 15 minutes that we should be concerned. It's about the government and the people that are using this concept and idea to bring about their nefarious ways. And before I speak further, I just want to be really clear. This video is not to attack any sides. This video is actually trying to appease both sides, that we should talk together. We should hear and understand each other, our fears, our hopes, and we should be calm, composed, and collected as we try to resolve these problems that we're experiencing. Because um, I don't want it to be a shouting war. Like, I've seen protesters just yelling at people, and people that want to advocate for 15-minute cities just, trying to shove the ideas in each other's throats. And I don't think we're not gonna get anywhere. So let me just, one of the things that we need to understand why it's not supposed to be a concentration camp, and I don't think that the government would want it to be like a concentration camp. Is I think that's not really like in our capitalistic world where everything's profit driven. Travel, going out of your place regularly, drives the economy. Like, what do I mean by that? Like, in the idea, let's say for example, it's implemented in the United Kingdom. You have for example, you're living in London and the 15-minute city is passed as a legislation. Ideally, it would be that zoning laws would change so that it would accommodate to the needs of the people. Meaning to say, for example, in your neighborhood, you don't have a clinic. So there are laws preventing that to happen. So 15-minute cities would eventually would effectively try to amend those laws in order for you to have a clinic within your district, so that the idea of being able to have health care within a 15-minute walk would be accomplished. If you need a hospital and it's like in the other neighborhood, it's like a 40-minute walk, or you need to go use a car to go there, or an ambulance to go. There should be nothing restrictive about 15-minute cities. The idea is great, but if they're going to turn it into concentration camps, it's no, please, let's push back. But then again, I don't think that some of the fears that we have about 15-minute cities are founded, or like a lot of it is conspiracy theories. A lot of it is mass hysteria. Again, in our capitalistic world where everything is profit driven, why would you lock people inside 15-minute cities when you need their money elsewhere? Like, if I was a businessman, and think about it, I'm a football fan as well. That would mean no away fans in football, right? So like, I don't think people in high society, those that control us, will want restrictions to happen. Some of you are saying, well, in COVID, that's what they did. They locked us down. I believe that even though, and by the way, I'm gonna try to clarify this. When we speak about these things, about the government trying to control the people, and the people trying to break free from the control of the government, I believe in it, and at the same time, there's a distinction. I to me, how I view it is, I try to view it as realistic as possible. Yes, the government does control. I mean, that's government. They control. That's their whole thing. But do they control it like the Illuminati? Kinda. Yeah. In many ways they do. But the way we see it is a alternate version of what they're trying to do. For example, if I were to equate this to food, we're really scared of fried chicken. Like, oh, they're gonna offer us fried chicken, when in reality, we're already eating chicken nuggets. So, for example, we're so afraid of them taking more control over us through 15-minute cities that they essentially do not need to, if the control that they're look. And here's from a perspective of like those people that want to control people. I don't need to lock you in 15-minute cities. I already have the control I need from the media that they already like fund, from like sports washing, using football, using sports to like push their agendas, social media. They already have these mega corporations already know. I mean, they're the ones that keep your money. The products that you used are made by them, so they already have a lot of control. And again, um, we're being scared, or we're barking at the wrong tree. Yeah, I think that's a better analogy. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're barking in the wrong tree. I agree that we should bark, and I believe there's a tree, but we're really barking on the wrong tree, and barking at the wrong fruit, barking at the wrong leaves. Like, the evil is scattered in multiple places. The tree is divided into multiple pieces, but the tree exists. I believe the tree exists. The problem, the government trying to control the people. I believe that is true, but it's not in the way of like Illuminati-esque type of control. They already are controlling us. And I mean, like, for example, Russia declaring war. I mean, how many Russian men who I deep down I know are just good people who just wants to play football, you know, drink vodka, or, sorry for the stereotype. It's just live their life. How many young men who just wants to live their life, who just wants to go back to their families, died because of these people saying, we should take back our land, and how many innocent lives are lost. So that's the control. That's the control. That's what we're worrying about. It's right in front of us, and I don't think it helps when we're so hysterical at something that's, I agree. 15-minute cities should not control us, but to just downright deny and just completely like, we don't want it ever, period. I think that's not the wrong. I think that's the wrong way to solve this problem. If I may, let's push for 15-minute cities, and while also fighting against this potential controlling of our, privacy, invasion of privacy. And with that, we also fight the things that are there already. Like, for example, in United Kingdom, the Premier League is so hard to watch because it's divided. They divided it to multiple channels, multiple media companies. That the beautiful game is so hard to watch in United Kingdom. Like, the average person needs to spend £600 per year to watch every game. That's the control. And they're gonna do that in legislations. They're gonna do that in. So that's what we need to address. I agree that the concept of having streaming and having multiple broadcasting partners for Premier League is a good thing. It drives revenue up. It helps more people to watch the game. But they did it to a point where it's so profit driven that it instead of making it into something positive, it became a negative. And going back to 15-minute cities, I think we should be able to really dissect what the 15-minute city is all about and address all the negatives that we see, and also embrace the positive that we see. That's what I do not like about the protest, is that they just downright, no, 15-minute cities, no, we don't want to make changes that will potentially improve our lives, and help save the environment. And yeah, I want the environment to be saved because I don't know, I live here. I want to live longer. I want, you know nature to not be harsh on me because I'm harsh on nature. Nature will find its way to hit us back if we don't take care of our environment that well, if we don't lessen our carbon emissions, if we don't walk more instead of using the car more. And yeah, I also want to say, for those of you car lovers like me, I love cars. I love a Ford Mustang. 15-minute cities. Yes, it there's a possibility of banning cars in certain places, like what they are doing already in Barcelona. Go check that out, people. Check what they're doing in Barcelona. Check the positives and the negatives of what's happening in Barcelona before we and this is a diving deeper of 15-minute city concepts. Actually, the motivation of banning cars is part of that 15-minute city concept. There's a positive and there's a negative. And one of the positives is that if you really need the car, for example, someone in the comment section in Facebook, I've read that, what are they gonna do? My work requires car travel. Your work requires car travel. It's as simple as that. The government should not ban you of using car. I mean, that's why you have a car, for you to be able to do your part in society and earn a living well. So if in a to put it simply, if we were living in a 15-minute city, if your work requires car travel, use your car, please do so. But if we're going to implement the laws about 15-minute cities in that city, in that fictional London that I just described earlier, if I were to say I work as a plumber that needs my equipment to be hauled in a truck, I should be allowed to drive everywhere, and I should be encouraged to drive, so that I could do my job, well. But if I'm just gonna watch a Premier League game, I could ride the bike. I could walk to the stadium if the stadium that I'm going to is near. I could ride the multiple public transportation that's available in this London that I'm using as an example. So that's, yeah, I believe some of the fears are unfounded in the protests, but I do agree that the people should stand up for their rights, and that they should stand up for the privileges that we all worked hard for. But then again, there is a better way. This is the part of me that says there's also a better way to live. And here is the 15-minute city. It's a concept, it's an idea that I hope people would study and would really think about and embrace everything that's good about it. If you believe that that the 15-minute city is going to be used by the government to control us, well then, it's kind of like a knife. You could use a knife to create wonderful delicacies, make amazing food, or use a knife to stab someone. It's all on who are these people. And that's one of the things that I want to also say. We should be focusing more on the people. It's always the people that's the problem. It's not really the idea. It's the people. Cars aren't really that bad. It's the people that use cars are bad. Drunk drivers, people that are using their cars just so they could use it without really having a purpose of using it whatsoever. For example, when I'm saying this, I'm like, if you're just a guy going on a grocery that's just actually walkable, like here in the Philippines, if you're a guy that's gonna use a car to go get your groceries, and the grocery store is just like a 15-minute walk, but you just use your car just cause you're lazy, you don't want to use public transport, you don't want to carry your goods, that's the thing that we're trying to discourage. Like, please don't use your car if it's just if it's just a short trip. The carbon emission, the possible dangers that you're gonna bring because you're using a vehicle. That's the thing that we lessen. But yeah, uh, yeah. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. Let's uh, let's work on having a better future. I got tired. It's 2 a.m. here, and I'm just talking my mind out. I don't know. Thank you if you made it this far. Thank you for listening to my rambling. Um, Again, I'm not here to ridicule anyone. I don't think that the people protesting are stupid. I believe that many of their fears are founded or valid, but a lot of the things that they're trying to address is, not really it. It's not the target. Or like, again, we're barking in the wrong tree. The tree that we are afraid of exists, but again, we're barking on the wrong tree. And and going back, we should really, really focus on these people. That's the thing. We should focus on the people. So maybe this is the last part of what I'm trying to say. It's it the ideas. Any good idea could be turned evil if we get the wrong person doing it. A football player could be an inspiration. He could use his fame and power, his fame and money, his influence to do good, or he could use that to get things in his own way. Like, hey, I'm famous, so I could get away with sexually assaulting someone. I have the money to pay for the lawyers, or use that money to do charity work. It's also that to the protesters. I hope we held held hold sorry hold the people responsible. We hold the people responsible, and I think that is the best way for us to address these concerns. It's the people. We could implement the 15-minute city. We could, like it. No, what I'm trying to say is we could, or the United Kingdom could never ever push for the 15-minute city, and yet the things that you fear will still come true. It's possible. I mean, they're going there. So it's really the people. I think that's one of the final thoughts that I want to share. Let's hold people accountable. Let's be accountable as well, and then we could really address the concerns. I'm really tired. I'm sorry. I don't know why I make this. I don't know why I made this video. 2 a.m. I'm just rambling at this point. But yeah. So in conclusion, 15-minute cities are good. The idea and the concept is good. If you are afraid that the 15-minute city concept is going to be used to control or to put or impede the freedom and the liberty of the people of your life, let's fight back. Let us not, however, stop the ideas of and the concepts and the guiding principles, the guiding values of the 15-minute city. Let's not discard it away. It's a good thing. And we should address the fears that we have regarding the 15-minute city by first starting to hold the people that are trying to implement it accountable. They should be held accountable. Who are these people and why are they pushing? What are their motivations in pushing this 15-minute city? Oh, here's a city planner who just is very passionate about city planning, and we could conclude that he doesn't really have a nefarious, evil plan to control our liberty. But here's this politician who has a track record of corrupting people, of using his position and power to get the upper hand, to have more money, and to use his power, whatever he likes without. So that those are the people that we should be up in arms against. And yeah, yeah. I hope I made sense. Um, I'm I'm looking forward to the comment section. I'm I'll prepare myself if there's gonna be. I know there's gonna be a lot of things. Uh, yeah. So to the people of United Kingdom and to those and everyone who is pro or against 15 minutes, everyone who's passionate about this topic, let's have a conversation down below in the comment section. Let's be respectful. Let's be kind. And at the end of the day, let's look at what's the most important to us. To you who have watched this video already, thank you again. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful life. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. And that is my video. Um, I'll just let's talk in the comment section.